You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
It all sounds like some bad movie.
Welcome, everyone, to Moviesucktastic, the podcast that reviews bad films and good films, but even the bad good ones. Or the good bad ones. Whatever the fuck. I'm Scott, and the person with the generous Plex account is Joey.
You have no idea how generous.
But anyway, welcome to Moviesucktastic, part of our Oscar sweeps month, where we're reviewing all the Best Picture Oscars, because there's no time to do anything else since they fucking upped it to 10. And this episode, we are doing La La Land.
La La Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. We'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.
What'd you say?
I didn't like it. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, I thought you said I liked it. It's like, whoa, don't skip over that.
No, and no.
All right. Well,
I don't care how good the chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone is.
all right.
I
Let's
don't care that Ryan Gosling learned to play piano for 3 straight months. That was his life. I don't care.
Yeah. Now let's start from the beginning. Let's dial it back a bit. As I mentioned in the last episode, we did Hacksaw Ridge. I got it right this time. One of the things I'm not a big fan of is musicals. Now, that's not to say I don't like certain musicals. I actually did like Les Mis when we reviewed that a few years ago. Oliver, I'm still a fan of. Rocky, even though Rocky Horror Picture Show is a musical, it's not. I don't count it as that, but it is. And there are musicals I do like. I love my Hair, but this film is against the grain as far as things I actively go to see. Well, I think you're the same way.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why this film is garnering so much attention, why the critical review is so good, is because it's essentially a throwback to the musicals from the 40s, the 50s, and even the 60s. And that's why when they show like the TV spots and the trailers, they don't make movies like this anymore. And it's because they make musicals all the fucking time. But as far as a film, even the font that they used to signify the stages of where we are in the seasons, it starts off in winter, and the film, the ending part of the movie ends in winter. So, and it just, they don't make movies like this anymore. And as far as how they're going with how it looks and how it feels and the dance numbers and the type of music and all of that stuff. And like you said, good. I don't care one iota about this film. And my wife, she was like, I want to see this. She wanted me to take her to the theater to see it. So we did. And the thing of it is, if we weren't reviewing this, I would have never watched this movie. I could give a shit.
Same here.
And the thing is, I lean over to her and I say, I'm not really digging this. Not in like a bad way to say, oh, you made me watch this. And she leans over to me and says, I'm not either. And you know what? She's the fucking demographic for this. She really is. She is. It's like if she leans over to me and says, yeah, I'm not, like, she didn't hate it, but it's like, I'm not really feeling it. And she's right. And then later on in the film, I lean over her again. I go, when it's a real movie, when they're actually not singing and dancing and all that bullshit, it's actually good. The acting is good. The dialogue is good. When it's a movie. And she leans over to me and says, yeah, you're right. It is a much better movie than it is a musical. And that's really how I sum up this movie. It's a much better movie than it is a musical. And I think that's why the film Whiplash, which is this guy, Damien Chazelle's other film, works so well, because it's got music in it.
But it's a movie.
But it's a movie. And this is like the opposite. This is a musical with little parts of a real movie. So it doesn't work, in my opinion.
Right. So what we're basically doing is we're starting our show with our summation. And Joey has summed up perfectly the main problem with the film. So we're going to work our way backwards. I agree with you, but I'll skip that a bit. But no, you're right. And like my main problem with the film, even beyond that, is this is something I've always had a problem with. Is great, and this is this is the same problem that we had with The Fucking Artist.
Oh yeah.
Is good. Look, Hollywood wrote itself another love letter. Aww.
Well, and I think
California is going to spend another 2 hours telling me how wacky and great California is. Oh, fuck you. Seriously. New York doesn't pull this shit. Even New York just shows itself as like a real place. Even like the feel-good New York ones, even they aren't as bad as a fucking Hollywood, California, sloppy, self-fellatio that this fucking film is.
So we should go and do the title. We should do the poster, because that's kind of a thing now.
But you started off with a summation, so I had to throw my summation in there.
Sure.
So that's all right. Yeah. So you want to start with the title, sir?
Sure. The title of the film is La La Land, and it does have and I will give it this. It does have a few meanings. The main one is obviously the film takes place in Los Angeles. So you have La La Land. So you have L.A., L.A., Land.
L.A.
Yeah, so there's that. And then the fact that she's an aspiring actress and he's an aspiring musician, and, they're, starving musicians and artists and whatnot. And you could say that they're in a La La Land. Like, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? So there's that.
Also, the film does have a sort of dreamy quality to it, a kind of surreal.
Yep.
And so that's part of the La La Land too. It's almost the whole film in some ways segues into these dream sequences, so to speak, or where things are kind of it's backdrops and studio sets instead of the real world.
Yes.
So that kind of comes into play with the title too. Yeah. So technically, yes, the title is creative and original, and I still hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I don't know what else they would call it though.
Chicken on a stick.
Chicken on a stick.
I would have seen it for chicken on a stick. Yeah.
Sebs. Now my son's name is Sebastian, and again, I'll keep this short, sweet, and simple. My intention was never to name my son a popular name of any kind, and apparently within the last 5 years or so, 6 years, it's kind of creeped its way into the top 10 names for kids, and I'm seeing the name everywhere now. And that was never my intention. My intention was to name my son after my mother. And,
dude, you're an Italian bellwether. What can you say?
Yeah. But the thing is, I think we were very creative with giving him his nickname, even though he fucking earned it. With the nickname of
Bash.
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 But he's
Bash.
Yeah, he's a very sweet and loving child. So his other nickname is also Bashy. But so when
Bashy Bash.
Bashy Bash. So when I see that she comes up with a name for his club as Sebs, and I'm like, I would never fucking call my son Seb. I would sooner call my son Ian as a nickname than Seb.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Seb is just, yeah.
Seb is stupid. What a stupid fucking nickname.
I immediately flashed to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with Charlie when Dee tries to take him to a spa. It's like, what do you mean spa? I feel like you're not finishing the word. Spa. What, spaghetti? I mean, what? It's like it's not a full word. It's definitely like one of the worst nicknames ever. Yeah. So I'm not a fan of the title. And the basic plot is such a typical plot. It's boy meets girl, boy loses girl. Actually, a lot of the plot is very reminiscent of Casablanca, which they nod to repeatedly throughout the film.
Right.
In some ways, but it's a struggling artist, actress, and musician, and. You know what? Those disjointed sentences I just gave, you know the plot of the film.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about the end of the movie? Like actually talk about that, give it away, spoiler alert, we're going to do that?
You know what? Let's hold off till the very end because do you want to?
I think we can.
No, I'm not asking if we can. I'm saying, do you want to?
Not really. I mean, there's well, here's the thing. The only reason
asking.
Okay, and I'll mention why. The only reason why I bring it up is people I've read, on some forums before IMDb stops doing that forever.
Oh yeah, yeah. IMDb stopped the message forums. It's like the greatest blessing and curse at the same time. It's like, thank God, no more fucking stupid people. But yeah, 1 out of every 10 was actually really interesting. That's the only reason I went into message boards in the first place.
Right.
If it wasn't for the message boards, I never would have found out what the fuck she was drinking in Creepshow.
What part of Creepshow?
Bridget Bardot. She like pours milk and she pours liquor in. I said, "What the fuck is that?" I looked it up on message boards, and it came up. Yeah, it's a drink. It's a milk and bourbon. It's like, what? Who the fuck drinks that? Thank God for. I've actually, as much as I make fun of the IMDb message boards and the amount of insanity that goes on in there, every 5th or 10th message post is an intelligent, thoughtful, deeply introspective person that wants to dissect the film and talk about it.
Right. The only reason I bring up the ending is because it seems a lot of people are confused.
Oh, that's because they're idiots.
So that's the only reason why I would mention the ending and saying spoiler alert. We're going to talk about it because
all right.
There's in no way did I feel during the end of that.
Are you confused?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, there, when it gets going with the ending, I'm like, okay, I could see maybe this being, an alternate reality. But then there's no.
You're already going too far.
There's no mistaking how the film ends and why anyone should be confused.
No. Now, I would compare this as far as contrast to Birdman.
Okay.
Birdman is a ending that is open to interpretation on purpose. That is why it's so vague and why you have so much debate about it. This film, there's nothing vague about the ending. It's not that creative, people.
Yeah, it's not Inception, all right, people? So...
All right. Now, my mother, she might be a little confused by the ending. But, I don't even think so. I even think my mother would understand the ending. And I don't say that in a negative way towards my mother. But this is the woman that, my parents will watch films, and the one I point out is they watched No Country for Old Men.
Right.
And then at the end of the film, she turns to my father and goes, "That's how it ends?" It's like, yeah, that's how it ends. It's like, but why? It's like, okay, that's not your film. You shouldn't have watched. I didn't recommend it to her. She shouldn't have watched that film. It's not for her. This Birdman, same thing. She's like, what the hell was the endings? It's not for you. It's not.
Yeah, didn't she call you up and get mad at you? And didn't you say, "I never recommended this to you"? What?
I think
why are you mad at me?
I think around is like, no, this is not a film for you. I never would have said that. This is no.
I think they ended up watching it off your Plex. It's like, I never told you to watch this.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, I know how to recommend films to people. Believe me. But La La Land, she would understand. That's how straightforward the ending is. It's not. But there are a lot of stupid people out there, as we know over the past few weeks, and I still, like I said, one of the few. I've only been in a movie theater alone like 2 or 3 times in my life, and one of them was Mission Impossible in North Carolina.
Right.
And I remember leaving the theater, and people in front of me, couple, and the woman's like, "I didn't understand it. What was the knock list? They never explained that." And behind them, like, "You got to be fucking kidding me! They talked about the knock list every 15 fucking minutes. It's like the least dubious part of the whole film. How did you not get that?" These are the people that are confused by this movie.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And this is also what happens when you have a film that's so gets so these rave reviews. Oh, we have to go see it because it wasn't made for them. This is not a film that was made for mass audiences. This film was made for people that are into Hollywood and California and musicals. If you're not into any of those three and you have no real knowledge of film history on a broad scale, you're going to be confused by certain things and just
and it's mainly for anyone that's actually voting. So.
Yeah, I hear The Walking Dead starts again next week. You guys should watch that.
I have 3 episodes I need to catch up on.
I need to post that fucking comic book on eBay.
Because the show's more popular than ever.
So now's the time to do it.
Although this season has not been received very well, the last episode of last season and the first episode of this season, which is season 7, were so fucking good. And I don't say that lightly. It was so fucking good. It would have taken a miracle to have continued that trend of those episodes that were that good. So it almost anything they put on the screen this season, it's like it's just not better than the first episode. It's just not better than the last episode from season 6, and that's kind of like the way the episodes have been. It's like it's okay, but they hit this peak in episode the 16 of season 6 and episode 1 of season 7. It was just like those 2 episodes bookended each other, and it was just like you're not going to top it. You're not going to top it. And it was that good. So, but it was that well written, that well acted, and of course, just the things that transpire, that compelling, that fucking good. But
Holly's not going to binge watching lately. She just caught up to the last season and the opening where the one character dies, and she's like, "Oh, that was very disturbing."
Yeah.
I think she reacted to that almost the same way I reacted to Hacksaw Ridge. Maybe a little less, but
those 2 episodes.
I think she was equally disturbed.
Yeah, those 2 episodes were they were awesome, and it just nothing is better than those 2. So and I have to watch those 3 because Mare said she didn't want to watch this season. She felt Negan, which is that character, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who I like. Specifically as the comedian in the Watchmen film.
And I liked him in The Losers, too. I thought he was good in that.
No, I like The Losers. That was a good movie, too.
I was surprised I liked The Losers. I didn't think I'd like it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the bad guy, but hold on. I'm going to stop us both right there. La La Land. We do this. God damn it. Back to La La Land. All right.
And you know what? I think the audience at this moment they like it when we do it.
Yeah, but still, I'm going to draw it back because we can't do this all night.
Okay.
La La Land.
Yeah,
Can
we keep this like a 30-minute or a 40-minute episode instead of like an hour?
That's what I'm trying to do by dragging you back to the main topic.
Okay, I'm on board if we do that.
All right, La La Land. The first 10 minutes of this film, it's almost like they were trying to anger me. Because, all right, California and traffic. Ha 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 ha! And then what's more California than traffic? How about traffic that breaks into song and dance? Ha ha ha! Fuck you! Holy shit, man! It's just fucking. I immediately I want to. First 10 minutes of the film, I want to slap it.
I saw you posted that and just so you know, Mare, she chuckled.
Did she agree?
Yeah, because in the end, neither one of us we didn't hate the film, but neither one of us really liked it.
But specifically the opening. Did she like the opening?
She didn't say that she didn't, but because I know my wife, I could tell she wasn't into it. You know what I mean? She wasn't into it.
Mm.
And I don't think at any point she was into the film, except for when it was a real movie. When those little segments that were just a real movie, those were so well done. And there's not enough of them. I mean, it's a 2-hour film, but there's maybe 20 to 30 minutes that's an actual film where there's dialogue. Now, I'm not counting the stuff where they're just walking by and like there's no music, but nothing's happening. I don't count that. I'm talking about when there's actual dialogue.
Right. I feel like I need to correct you slightly. I don't think it's a better movie. I just think that the movie elements are better because we get to see two good actors act.
Yeah, I agree with
Ryan
that.
Gosling is a good actor.
Yes.
And it pains me to say that because it's like when he first started out as like the pretty boy actor, it's like, yeah, fuck you. And like he's just done nothing but just prove that he fucking is a talent.
Yeah. Him and Jake Gyllenhaal, we've mentioned that a few times on the show.
Exactly.
Not that I'm saying that they're the same, but as far as them being able to pick good scripts and make good film, they both have a really good, eye for that.
I still haven't watched the one film that he did, Lost Dreams? What is it?
No, the Blue Jasmine or something like that. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, Blue Jasmine is a different film.
Which actor are you talking about?
Gosling.
It doesn't sound familiar. I still haven't. He did a film called Blue Jasmine, I think. That I need to see.
I don't think that's
called
right.
Blue something.
Lost River. That's what I'm talking about. Blue Jasmine is not a Ryan Gosling film.
No? Okay. He did a film called Blue something.
Blue Valentine.
That's it. And
that's your thing.
I've been meaning, and Lars and the Real Girl. I've been meaning to watch that too.
That's a great one.
I heard that was amazing.
You have seen it, or
I haven't yet.
Dude, I mean, that's a film. That's an early film where you watch it like, holy shit, he knows how to act. Like this is like acting. This isn't just hey, I'm pretty. But no, Lost River is the one he wrote and directed in 2014.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't gotten around to it. But just Drive and Only God Forgives, those two films alone, not just the fact that he's good in them, but that he did them.
Right, and didn't you mention that he convinced the director, which is, what's his face, Refn Winding, something or other.
You're like that,
He also did Valhalla Rising. But didn't you say that he recommended that because the director always wanted to do the two, Drive and Only God Forgives, but wanted to do Only God Forgives first, and Ryan Gosling convinced him to do Drive first?
I never heard that, so you didn't hear it from me, but that's interesting.
I could swear that you mentioned that on the show.
If I did, I forgot it.
Okay.
I'm honest. I should take credit for it, but...
Nicholas Winding Refn.
Yeah, he's weird name.
He's from Denmark. His other film that he did that I really liked was Bronson.
Yeah. I know. I didn't feel the same way you did about Bronson.
I saw it, and I loved it, and I mailed Scott a copy, and Scott didn't see it the same way I did.
Well, I also didn't watch it for a year.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, then when I did it, I was like, eh.
He also did a film called Pusher, which I haven't seen, but I have it.
Now, did he do the American remake, or did he do the original?
The original in '96.
Okay, because there's 3 Pushers. The original, there's 3 in the series. I have all 3. I have not watched
he did the other
them.
2. It's called With Blood on My Hands, Pusher 2, and I'm the Angel of Death, Pusher 3.
Right, he did all 3 of those?
Mm-hmm.
Did he do the American version too, or did somebody else take that over?
No, he did not do the American version.
Okay, just curious. Or is it vice versa? Did he do the American versions?
Ooh, I don't know.
I can do research now.
I did a film called Fear X with John Turturro.
He did the original. All right, he did do the original. 96, the first Pusher came out. Okay. I've never seen them, but I have them. I'm aware of them.
Same here. I haven't, but I haven't seen them.
Yeah, no, somebody else did the American remake, and I don't know. I don't think they did a 2 or 3 with that. I think they just did the first one. Anyway, La La Land.
Oh, he did a film in 2016. I didn't know. It's called The Neon Demon.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And I saw the trailer for this. I did not know he directed it. That's the one with Elle Fanning and Christina Hendricks, Keanu Reeves. And I saw the trailer for it. And, oh, fuck. So, did not know he did a film in 2016.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. I wasn't interested.
Yeah, I didn't know he did it. I mean, now I'm at least interested because he did it, but it does. I felt the same way. I'm like, I really don't want to see that.
You know what it is I feel a bit sexist saying this, but when you tell me about a film is about an aspiring young actress and then a group of beauty obsessed women who are like trying to absorb her youth, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I really don't. Speaking of sexist comments, now I have to mention this. Before this episode, we did Hacksaw Ridge.
Right.
And now we just reviewed 2 Oscar films in a row that are up for Best Picture, and both have actors from the Amazing Spider-Man films.
Oh, God, that's right.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it until we started this episode. Otherwise, I would have mentioned it in the Hacksaw Ridge episode. I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. She was in there as what's-her-face.
She wasn't Mary Jane. She was, what's-her-face?
Betty something.
No, not Betty.
Yeah, something Betty.
Gwen Stacy.
Oh, Gwen Stacy, same thing, and he was, and the lead from Hacksaw Ridge was Spider-Man before the new one.
Peter Parker, yep.
Yeah, the second incarnation.
Which I had no problem with him as Spider-Man, and I
actually liked him a bit. I liked him as a modernization of the character.
Right.
I haven't had a problem with any incarnation of Spider-Man. I thought all of them are good versions. Toby, what's his face?
Maguire.
And yeah, I know. Going forward, I still don't want to give him the satisfaction.
Okay, sure.
And then the new guy is like, yeah, I like what the direction they're going. I think it's cool. It's a little light and got lost in melodrama stuff. I just thought it was interesting. 2 Oscar films in a row reviewing, and that wasn't the intended intention of doing both of these films in the same week, but it's a link.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I found it interesting. But is it bad of me to say to Emma Stone, I just don't find attractive?
It's not.
It's not. She's supposed to be attractive.
Yeah, and I don't think she's unattractive. I'm
not saying she's ugly. I'm not making fun of her. I'm not.
No. I'm saying I know what you're saying.
She's supposed to be attractive, and I just don't. To that starlet kind of thing, I just don't see it. It's just me. It's me. It obviously is a personal aesthetic that for some reason she clashes in some way. The structure of her face, whatever. But yeah, no, I don't care for her.
It's funny. She was on the cover of Rolling Stone, I believe, in November, whatever it is.
Now, if she hit on me in a bar, I wouldn't spit in her face. I would instead, wake up. But
yeah,
I'm just saying. I was more attracted to Ryan Gosling in the film.
Oh,
I'll be honest.
Interesting.
I'll say it. He's a sexy man.
He's a sexy man. Bringing sexy
man
back. But anyway, she was on the cover of Rolling Stone, and it came in the mail. I still don't know. We have a subscription to Rolling Stone that I did not get. We just get it. Somebody must have got it for us as a gift or something. I don't know why we get it, but we get it. So anyway, my son Sebastian, he sees the issue, and she's not naked, but she's like in this like skin tight kind of leotard thing going on, and she's got like the whole cleavage thing going, even though she's like an A cup, but it's there. And my son Sebastian is like oogling over it. He goes, "Oh, mommy, look, boobies." and my wife didn't know how to handle that.
That's my godson. There you go.
And Mayor, of course, the first thing she does when I come home, she tells me about it, and I'm like, "And?"
Get used to it. It's gonna get worse.
Yeah. I go, it's interesting that he was able to point it out, but this is also my son that, for whatever reason, he'll grab my wife's bra and put it on his head and run around and laugh.
I do the same thing.
So you take my wife's bra and put it on your head, run around and laugh?
I didn't want to tell you.
Oh, okay.
I said no. I take it. Any bra that's laying around.
It was funny. A couple of years ago, we were on vacation and he was under the weather, but one of the pictures that we have of him is taking my wife's bra and putting it on his head, and my wife posted it. So I added the caption of "He forgot to hook up the doll." That was my caption for it.
And I get that.
I thought I felt very like, yes, I fucking nailed that one.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to say it right now.
Yes.
You and I, this weekend at the latest, we both have to make our Facebook photos us with bras on our heads.
We have to do that?
We have to now. No. Now we have to.
We don't have to.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I'm telling you, you have to.
We'll talk about it.
Oh, come on. You're no fun.
Why would I do that?
Married with kids, fuddy-duddy.
I'll just post a picture of my son again. I'm surprised that hasn't come up in a timeline recently, to be honest.
Another thing about the film that I didn't like, that I thought was heavy-handed, is there's the whole thing where Ryan Gosling's character is into jazz. He's heavily into jazz.
Yes.
And there's a segment of the film where he and Emma Stone are seeing each other, and she says, I don't like jazz.
Right.
And he's like, oh, well, you don't understand jazz. So we have to explore it and explain it to you. And he goes to this whole thing of taking her to a jazz club and explaining how jazz is good and how it, it's not surviving now. And it's so blatant. And please tell me you saw this too, where if you took all that dialogue and removed jazz and put musical in this place, they're just trying to explain to you why this film is good.
Yeah, it's they don't make movies like this anymore. They don't make good musicals anymore, and it's back in the old like Grace Kelly and
they do it again.
What's his face?
Right, and they do it again later because he joins the band that's supposed to be a jazz band.
Right, but
then during the first session, it turns into like this like pop, hip hop, jazz thing. I actually probably not hip hop. I don't know anything about music.
Yeah,
but and then the guy gives this whole speech about, hey, yeah, you got to innovate. I mean, jazz was rebellious back then. You got to rebel now. How are you going to get the kids when you're doing the old stuff? It's like, all right, yeah, you just described this film again. Just can we stop with this shit and just like get back to the love story? It's such a blatant like pandering to the concept that this film is like the new musical, but with all the homages to the old musicals. Just stop. I rather watch Xanadu again.
Oh my!
Than go through all this shit. I mean,
which ironically enough, what's his face was in that? The guy I was trying to remember. Gene Kelly? Was Gene Kelly in Xanadu?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the old guy that hits on the male prostitute.
I love that review we did. It's like, you watch that with the sound off and you just think he's gonna fuck him.
He's gonna fuck that.
He's gonna fuck him.
Hey, yeah.
He's gonna paint.
The old man playing his flute on the rock. The young kid in the tight jeans comes up. They start talking. Next thing you know, they're at his house. He's fucking him.
Yeah, he's gonna paint an album cover recreation, and then he's gonna get fucked.
Yeah, I saw this scene in Midnight Cowboy. It didn't end well. It did not. No,
it didn't.
Now, I tried to like certain parts of the film.
I tried to like the dance numbers and the musical parts. And...
Yeah, because I was like, all right, craft and dancing. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. The whole scene where Gosling and Emma Stone dance like with California background, which apparently wasn't a backdrop. It's the actual skyline.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I was, I leafed through the trivia just to get an idea of the filmmaking stuff, and like the one thing was that they only had like a 1 hour window or 2 hour window or something, so they did like 4 takes a night for 3 nights in a row, and they were just doing it nonstop. But so that was actually the actual skyline of that actual moment in the evening.
Oh, okay.
If it's true,
Yeah, I mean, I was really trying to enjoy it. Like when the film opens up and they're in traffic and it turns into a dance number. I'm like, I'm trying to enjoy this. I'm trying to.
No,
to
I rejected that immediately.
Well, no, that's what I'm getting at. I said, you know what? Let me give this a chance. Let me try. And by the end of it, I'm like, I didn't like that for 1 second.
I didn't even try though, because you're like, yeah, let's give it a shot. The minute they showed the traffic, I was like, no. Like trying to feed your kid asparagus. No.
Don't care that it's wrapped in bacon.
No. And then they start singing. No. No. Did I mention no?
No. Then later on, when they're at the pool party and that breaks out into song and dance, I'm like, I'm trying. I'm really trying here. And it's just like, I just don't like this shit.
No.
Not that again, there are musicals that I like. And I think what it really comes down to is I think I have to like the music too. And I just don't like this style of music. And right. I'm not a fan. Now, I'm not a big fan of jazz either. So
I don't know. I mean, not necessarily like for instance, like when we reviewed Les Miserables back right. when it was up for Best Picture, I'm not necessarily a fan of opera. I know it's not an opera per se, right. But like that style of music, I'm not into. What?
It's operatic.
But what I'm saying. I'm sidetracked.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
But for me, it wasn't the music as much as the performances and the film style. The up close shots and I thought the actors, actresses, stellar performances. It was like they were singing, but they were actually acting too, and it was like really fucking intense. And I appreciated that. And the fact that people that like the musical didn't like the film style made me like it more. Like, this is why I don't like musicals. This is why I like films, and this is like a film. So shut up. But also, like, again, there's all this. There's pander. The film panders. It's a pandering film to that whole like Hollywood movie set nostalgia.
And it's exactly why it's going to win Best Picture, because Hollywood is down on itself in 2016, even though the ending isn't very happy, but it's just an homage to what Hollywood was and is still trying to be. And it's just like, you know what? There's not, I think it's going to be by a landslide that this film wins Best Picture.
But it's still white people, and there was such a lash out against white gold last year that I really think that the predominant white cast.
You got a black guy in this.
There's a black guy,
and there's a bunch of black guys throughout playing jazz.
Yeah, the ones that aren't like involved in the storyline. Yeah.
Every time I hear jazz, the only thing I want to do is I just want to go to a top shelf bar in New York City. That's all I want to do when I hear jazz. So what I'm saying is, it makes me want to drink heavily.
I like jazz. I've over the years I've grown to Woody Allen kind of like introduced jazz to me.
Well, I don't hate jazz
because I'm a white kid that grew up in New Jersey. So yeah, jazz wasn't around a lot. but like Woody Allen films, like, oh, that's jazz, hey. And like I had a boss that listened to jazz, but he was a bit of a whatever, so I never got into that.
I hate jazz.
I think he liked jazz for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I just don't really like it. I don't hate it, but it's not something. It's not something I'd put on purposely. If it's on and I like what I'm hearing, I'll keep it on. But,
well, that's anything.
Well, yeah, but for the most part, I'm going to change the channel. Is what I'm getting at. If I like it,
I'm going to leave it on.
Well, no, I'm saying most of the time.
German porn. If I like it, I'll leave it on. Hey, sure. But if I don't, I'm going to turn that off.
Bowling for blowjobs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that a blast from the past or what?
Oh, man. I think it's had an aneurysm. Thank you. Wow.
What she could do with that bowling pin. Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
That and Cinderschwitten.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Speaking of Will. Yeah. And Jesus, how come that didn't come up during Willow? You got to wait till now to bring that up? Okay.
With Cinderschwitten.
Yeah. But I agree with you 100% when you say like the film parts of the film are the best. And that's because Ryan Gosling is not only is a good actor, but he has great comic timing, and he does a lot of humor. I mean, again, The Nice Guys, fucking awesome.
Yeah, I talked to someone just the other day, and I haven't seen it yet. But I talked to someone the other day.
Haven't seen Nice Guys yet?
I know. And
you've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, right?
Of course.
All right, so just making sure.
Yeah. But that film came up in conversation, and they just said, "Oh, I hated that movie," and I'm like, "I haven't seen it, and I know you're wrong."
No, they're wrong. They're dead wrong. I will tell you right now, they're 100% wrong. That film is fucking great.
I mean, I have seen bits and pieces. Actually, I saw the first 20 minutes Saturday, but we were going out to dinner, so I had to turn it off. But I saw up to the part basically where Ryan Gosling punches the glass, and he's just like, "Oh, that's a lot of blood. Oh, that's a lot of blood."
Yeah.
and the nurse is talking to him and says, it's like, "Are you looking for God?" He goes, "No, I'm looking for Amelia." And that's pretty much it. I mean, the next shot is where Russell Crowe's getting beaten up.
All right.
But
not to be mean, do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Watch it alone in one sitting so you can enjoy it.
Okay.
I wish I had been able to do the same thing.
Oh boy.
No, again, and I hate, it's just people enjoy films different ways, but every now and then it's like, I think sometimes I need to say at the beginning, all right, this is a film I want to see in one sitting with silence. So can we please try to this is, but it was a film that she liked Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. She's like, okay, I know you want to see this because the same director, same type of film.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not going to get to watch this in one fucking run. I know it. I think I ended up rewinding it 4 or 5 times.
Oh my God.
It happens. It happens. It's not all the time, but sometimes.
If we end the show in the next 5 minutes, maybe I'll watch it right now.
Hey.
So, is there anything else you want to mention about?
Well, I was saying like Ryan Gosling, when those two are just talking, I wouldn't even say it's a chemistry. I would just say it's two actors that know how to do casual conversation and do it well.
Well, I mean, they've been in like 3. This is like their 3rd film together, I think, at this point.
But even when they're not together, like when Gosling's with his sister.
Oh, well, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that. Like they keep it. They have a flow to the dialogue that's realistic, but has the beats.
Well, I like his mannerism when he keeps walking into his apartment and gets startled. It's funny the way he does it.
Yeah, he did that like other places too. He did the whole startled thing, and maybe once too often in the film.
I think he did it 3 times, but I thought it worked all 3 times.
He also did it like when they were in the observatory, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm saying like, one time too many. He's like, yeah, keep it in the apartment. But again, great actors. They know how to do characters. But it's just this whole, okay, let's go back to the musical. And then the whole ending that you weren't sure you wanted to talk about, where she's like, oh, yeah, let's just, now we're just going to do an homage to fucking, to
love.
Well, no, I mean to like musicals at that time period. The sets, now the sets are like this. Like it's like a huge thing to, what's the one with, in Paris? Which musical was that?
Fuck.
Wonderful, marvelous.
Yeah. It's gonna bother me now because I can't. It's there, but I can't. It's not rolling off the tongue.
It's not singing in the rain because I've seen that.
No, it's it's what's her face. I see the poster in my
American in Paris.
That's it.
American in Paris, yeah. Well, obviously, it takes place in Paris, yeah.
Yes.
I'm not hating American in Paris either, but like it's just like, oh, let's just do this and let's homage this. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Just how about? And I do want to say one thing. As I was watching La La Land, I kept thinking about Birdman.
Mm-hmm.
And how
Emma Stone was also in that.
Yes, she was. This film is like a again, it's a Hollywood's love letter to itself. But then, Scott, how come you like Birdman, but you're not holding Birdman to the same standard? So, well, Scott, talking in a different voice, I am, because Birdman is wasn't about Hollywood, or at least in a romanticized sense. It was almost like Hollywood was a negative aspect of his career. Michael Keaton in the film, but it not only broached the subject of film stars, but also of the stage, Broadway plays, and the literary world, and it showed the contrast between them, and it was a very dystopian aspect of entertainment as opposed to La La Land, which is, oh yeah, the dreams come true, and again, I don't ending whatever. It's just, God, I just don't like this type of film. And I don't like musicals. And I like them when they're done right. I don't feel like this film was done right. I think the parts of the film that we'd like are the acting parts. Everything else is just pure 100% pandering.
Right.
And that's just how I feel. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad film, but it's definitely a film I don't like.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. I just knew I wasn't going to like it going in. It was the one film out of all the nominees, we've mentioned this before, that I was avoiding. I'm glad we're getting it out of the way. We have 4 more movies to do after this, and I actually want to see every one of them.
Yeah, now, and again, for people that might be somehow, oddly enough, listening to this episode for the first time, I will say that this is our 5th film we're reviewing, correct?
Yes.
Oscar film?
Yep.
It's the 5th Oscar film we're reviewing, and it's probably the 4th one that I went into saying, I don't want to see this, I'm not interested in this, and it's the first one that I ended up not liking.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah, so I hate for it to sound like, well, I don't like musicals, so I didn't like this. I hate that shit. I was actually mocking Lilith earlier for saying shit like that.
Oh.
It's like, I don't like action films. It's like, oh yeah, I don't like films where things happen. Shut up. I want to mock a 17-year-old girl because I'm so superior. Yeah. So I feel the need to point that out.
Yeah. No, you hit it. You nailed it. So
and the fact that they were able to learn dance numbers and play musical instruments, that's very impressive.
Don't care.
Doesn't make it any more entertaining for me.
Yeah. No. I don't care how much work they put into the film. I don't care how much fun they had making it. So I'm sure people had fun making Hacksaw Ridge. I'm sure Mel Gibson had he had a great time making that. But I don't care.
Now I still like Ryan Gosling though.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, this director, which he realistically will walk away with Best Director, although they might actually give that to Mel Gibson. They might split it this year.
You know what? And that's what's so sexy about Ryan Gosling is not only is he hot, but he's also very funny. You get the humor thing going. I'd do him in a heartbeat.
Sure. That's why Ryan Reynolds is so popular. He's hilarious.
You know, honestly, if I was like at like say a bar mitzvah, and he and Emma Stone were both hitting on me, 50% chance I might go with him instead. Just saying. I don't know. I don't know why, but
okay.
There, I said it. I admitted it, and I'm cool with that.
You're cool with it.
I'm cool with it.
I lost my train of thought. I was saying something else, and
you were saying something profound.
Yeah. The fuck was I talking about?
I forget. I was just obsessing on Ryan Gosling.
I'm gonna listen back to this and I'm gonna remember it, and then it's. Okay. What I was going to bring up, I don't know if I started talking about it, but this is what I was going to bring up. The director, Damien Chazelle, or however his last name is pronounced. The first 2, films that have garnered this much Oscar attention, both Whiplash and this, are nominated for Best Picture. He realistically is going to win Best Director. That's what I was saying, because then I said they might split it and give it to Mel Gibson instead. But he's definitely going to win Best Picture. He probably will win Best Director. What does he do next? I don't know. Is there anything? Is he slated to do something next? And is it also going to be musical? Not a musical, but musical. Whiplash. It's a film with it's heavily. Do they throw like a superhero film at him because it's just like, hey, why not? or does he do something that is like has nothing to do with music and makes a tried and true like film, with real dialogue and real acting, and there's like no music to be found, or is he going to be that type of director? It's like, this is the product you get from him. These are the types of films that he wants to make. This is because after he wins Best Picture, possibly Best Director, he's going to be able to make anything he wants. Anything. And what is that thing going to be?
I just want to just to level the playing field here. Let's take a look at Singing in the Rain. I want to say this: Singing in the Rain
it's Gene Kelly.
Is Gene Kelly. Yeah. I've seen it. In its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
Not a favorite film of mine.
More iconic than anything else.
Sorry?
It's just a more iconic film title, Gene Kelly.
It's a very iconic film. It's a very loved film. And I'm not even like shit talking as far as like not liking it. I enjoyed a lot of the scenes in it. Gene Kelly's a very congenial actor. But I will say, just from a technical standpoint, it is a bad movie. From a screenplay standpoint, Singing in the Rain breaks probably every single rule you'll learn on how to write a screenplay, from act structure to characters to everything. It just it breaks. It doesn't make any sense as a screenplay. It is completely fucking rubbish.
Oh, Damien Chazelle, he did the screenplay for 10 Cloverfield Lane. I want to say that we talked about that.
We did mention that during the first Oscar thing, which I like 10 Cloverfield Lane. I thought it was a good film.
I did too.
Yeah. So La La Land, the first swing and a miss for the podcast, which that's 1 out of 5. That's a good average so far. We're still 80% good films for Oscars.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So the next thing that he's doing, so this is going to be, it may not, who knows how far it goes, but it's definitely in the vein of Oscar territory. He's doing a film called First Man, which is a look at the life of astronaut Neil Armstrong and the legendary space mission that led him to become the first man to walk on the moon, based on the book First Man, The Life of Neil Armstrong. Directed
Sounds like
by
another Oscar nod.
Well, yeah. Damien Chazelle directs, written by, it's based on the book by James R. Hansen. There's an early screenplay by Nicole Perlman, and final screenplay is Josh Singer. Neil Armstrong is being played by none other than Ryan Gosling. So he gets he gets nominated for Best Actor, and you never know, he might walk away with it because it's like a biopic. It's a biography type film.
I feel like Ryan Gosling's in Oscar mode.
He is. The last thing, for the last 4 or 5 years, it's just that's the kind of stuff he's being able to turn out.
No, but I would disagree. I think he's done a lot of stuff that would have no chance as an Oscar. Like for Best Picture or Best Actor.
Right.
I mean, what was the last thing he did? The Big Short. I mean, he didn't have a big enough role to be like even a supporting actor, I don't think.
Yeah, but it was a smart move. It was a smart script that he.
It was a smart script. I'm not knocking the film. I enjoyed the film. But what I'm saying is if you dial back from La La Land, nice guy, just acting. Nice Guys, Big Short, Only God Forgives, Gangster Squad, Place Beyond the Pines. Place Beyond the Pines, kind of an Oscar bid, but you knew that wasn't going to get anything major.
Yeah, it was indie, and it was just something that he felt strongly about as far as the script. So
Ides of March, Crazy Stupid Love, Drive, All Good Things, Blue Valentine, we're going back in 2007 now. I mean, he's been picking films that are good, but or at least passable, and they go back and forth from serious to funny. I mean, he went from Drive, The Crazy Stupid Love, to Ides of March. So he's skipping through them, but all of a sudden we've got La La Land. He's working on The First Man. He's doing Blade Runner. That's
right, which is being directed by what's his face, the guy that did Arrival, that guy. He's doing that Blade Runner. We mentioned it when we reviewed
right,
Arrival.
which I have no interest in whatsoever, at least as far as like Blade Runner.
I mean,
but
I like Blade Runner, so
I know. Yeah, I don't. I'm ambivalent. I'm not. I don't hate it, but I'm ambivalent. Yeah. But all I'm saying is that like up through The Nice Guys, he was doing films, and now he's doing career films.
yeah.
So I think he really hit that point where, yeah, now I'm going for the Oscar, or now I'm going for worldwide recognition beyond just being in movies. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just, some people it doesn't work. The problem, like Cary Grant's a perfect example. Every time he picked a film because he said, like, this is going to be my Oscar film,
Right.
it ended up not being his Oscar film. And in some cases, the films he turned down ended up being Oscar films.
Yeah, what's interesting, it's like George Clooney has done the same thing, which he's been called today's Cary Grant.
Oh,
So-
I still say to this day, if they were going to do a remake of Arsenic and Old Lace, it should have been like 5 or 10 years ago, and it should have been George Clooney playing Cary Grant's character.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
all
and
right.
again, Ides of March, you had George Clooney playing with Gosling.
Yep. So this Josh Singer, he won an Oscar for writing the screenplay for Spotlight, who he's now writing the screenplay for First Man. So they have an Oscar winner who's writing the screenplay. They have, which is now going to become an Oscar-winning director, in Damien Chazelle. Who knows? Maybe Ryan Gosling wins Best Actor for La La Land. But it's every direction that it's going in, it's Oscar.
Now,
It'll probably be out next year, or this year.
now,
I should say.
just out of curiosity, were you saying that George Clooney is in Oscar mode?
No, what I was saying is
Okay, because he's not.
When you were talking about Cary Grant, I was talking about how George Clooney
Okay.
is perceived as today's
All right.
Cary Grant, and Clooney was doing all these projects and like Good Night and Good Luck and things like that, and it's just like he's writing and directing, and it's like this could be his Oscar win, and it doesn't turn out that way, and then he's turning down stuff that actually turned into Oscar stuff, and it's like he's today's Cary Grant. And in more ways than one, it's like he's paralleled him in a lot of ways, like you just mentioned about Cary Grant trying to make career movies, not happening.
Yeah, the only reason I asked, because I just kind of glanced at his list, his acting list, and I'm like, okay, the last film he did that was even close to Oscar worthy was Up in the Air in 2009.
Yeah.
And did he get nominated for that?
I think he did. It was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, it was for Best Picture. I don't remember if he got a nom for Best Actor. I'm gonna have to peek at that real quick.
And when did he stop doing the whole, trying to win an Oscar thing?
That would be
Up in the Air? Wow.
Well, all right, dude. Real quick, Men Who Stare at Goats, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The American, Ides of March, The Descendants. All right, the Descendants was also up for Oscars, so that kind of almost counts. Let's say The Descendants is the last one.
Okay.
All right. Touch of Evil, 8, Gravity, Monuments Men, Tex Santa, that's a TV show, whatever the fuck. Tomorrowland, forget it. A Very Merry Christmas, crap. Hail Caesar, garbage. Money Monster, definitely nowhere. No one even assumed that was going to be anything like that. However, he's got 16 films in development, according to IMDb.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so he's definitely planning on a lot of shit, and maybe some of them are Oscar-type films.
When did he do The Descendants? Was that 2012?
2011.
Wow. Even that is fucking now almost 6 years ago.
Yeah, and that was a decent film, I guess.
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't? It's not bad.
There's so many movies that I have, but I haven't watched yet.
Dude, how many fucking... it's like I tell people, it's like, oh, you haven't seen that? So, all right, you know what? I can criticize someone for not having seen, say, like Willy Wonka.
Right.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No,
the original.
It's Willy Wonka.
But, what?
Well, the book is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but the Gene Wilder film is Willy Wonka.
God damn, I always get that fucking mixed up. Thank you for that. Thank you for correcting me.
Sure.
But, I mean, there's so much stuff coming out every year, It's like with books. It's like I'm not. You just can't fucking catch up. If you're not just watching like the big 5 or 6 films a year, and you're actually watching everything, you're trying to watch everything, you can't do it.
Yeah, true.
So you get shit. Yeah, it's like, cause it's like we'll talk about stuff. It's like, oh yeah, that came out 5 years ago. I still haven't seen it yet, but I haven't. It's like, well, there's only so many fucking hours in the day.
Yeah. No, it's
You
true.
know?
It's the truth.
I just sat down. I'm trying to like delete films off my Plex, and the other night I sat down and I watched 2 films. And 41 minutes. No, 41.
41. Okay.
It's a time travel thing, low budget.
Oh.
And which is a film with no dialogue, which was kind of interesting. And both of them I ended up keeping on the Plex because I liked them.
Okay.
But I mean, like that. At this point, like if I'm bored, I'll just, which I'm not bored. When I'm trying to like can't think of what I want to watch, I'll just go to Plex, turn it on to unwatched, and pick like one of the first 10 that show up.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Just trying to burn through them. It's like, oh well, this was shit. Let me delete that. There's so much fucking out there. And you don't realize that when you're young because you're only tapped into the new shit. It's like, oh yeah, this, and now you get old. It's like, wait, there's the new shit, and then there's all the shit that I didn't watch in the past like 30 years of my life, and then there's all the shit that came out in the last 100 years before that I haven't even gotten. It's worse with literature because literature goes back longer than film, obviously.
Yeah. No,
Yeah. So with books is like fucking forget it. I know I'll never watch everything I want to watch. I know I'll never read anything I want to read, but on top of that, I definitely won't watch anything I want to watch. And then I'm stuck watching shit like fucking Gravity.
All right. I've said everything I needed to say about this movie.
La La Land?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Again, chicken on a stick.
Chicken on a stick.
All chicken on a stick, and I'm good. Now, on IMDb, it's rated higher than Hacksaw Ridge, which I think is a travesty.
Way higher. Not way higher. It's 8.5, and Hacksaw Ridge was 8.3, but...
Right.
It's very high, in my opinion. Now, I can recognize that this is a well-made movie.
The craft is there. The talent is there.
Yeah, yes. So, I can't say, give it a 6. I can't say that because I don't feel that it deserves a 6. Just because I didn't like it, I can still recognize that it's a well-made movie. Mm-hmm. So I can confidently give it a 7. But nothing higher. I it's like the last 2 or 3 episodes we've been in total agreement. I refuse to go any higher than 7 for this. Yeah, and I can't go lower than a 7 because I can recognize the film. It's there.
Yeah, below 7, it's just like I'm just being a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if you rated La La Land a 1, you're just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, you didn't like it, but it's how would you rate this a 1? How is this a complete failure on every level?
Right.
Just get your head out of your ass.
Because it's not. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm confident in a 7. I'm happy with a 7, even though I didn't like it. I know that it at least deserves a 7.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the interesting aspect. The slope is the highest rating is a 10, and it's almost like just a complete slope back down to 2, and then a slight bump for 1. It goes from 10 at 32%.
Oh wow! Look at that. Yeah. Down
to 0.6% for 2, and then a slight bump up to 1.9 for 1. So it's not even a reverse horseshoe. It's just the majority of people that watched the film liked it. And then you had the small minority that are like going to be dicks. So like, give it a 1.
It's like if Trump put these percentages together. It's like this film is so great. It's the best.
Stop, don't go there, please. Don't. Unless you're going to record strangers after this, don't go there.
It got 15,000. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. It got 49,000 tens.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fucking tens.
It is. It's a lot of people like the film. Now, here's what I find interesting: the highest demographic is males under 18, 9.3. I would assume the opposite. So you got 16-year-old boys watching this film and thinking, yeah, this is the shit?
Yeah, because there's probably a girl next to them that they really just want to get in their pants.
Well, females under 18 only gave it 9.1, which is only 2-point difference, 0.2 difference.
So because the 16-year-old males are overshooting it, they're getting overexcited.
What they're liking. I mean, you can go. All right, as a 17-year-old boy, you can go to a film with a girl, say you like it, and still shit talk it on IMDb. You don't have to rate it a 10.
Well, maybe they rated it together.
Now, after that, males under 18 giving it a 9.3 average, it slowly slopes to females over 45 giving it 7.8.
Okay.
That is weird. So you've got a nostalgic film back in, a nostalgia back to like the 50s and 60s. I think that's the right time period, 50s, 60s, for the musicals that they were kind of nostalgic for. And the people that are actually old enough to have remembered it are the ones that least liked the film.
Well, you know what it is? It's probably everything that I was saying about my wife, where it's like they really thought they were going to enjoy it and they didn't. And they probably in the end were like, I ain't got time for this shit.
And I hate to say it, maybe the film's right too, because again, that whole thing I complained about was like, you're obsessed with the classic jazz, but you got to change it and make it new. And they're like, yeah, it's a metaphor for what they're doing with musicals, and I guess it worked because the kids liked it. What the fuck? Damn it, Hollywood, you win this round again, motherfucker.
Yep. An IMDb staff, I know that's your thing. 41 votes from the IMDb staff with an average rating of 8.7.
Nah, they're within the average. No complaints there.
Okay.
What was the IMDb staff for Hacksaw? I didn't even look at that.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
8.7. They were around the average too. Nothing wacky there.
Oh, that was Hacksaw?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that and real quick, I know we're already over time. Best Picture. You're of the opinion that it's a shoo-in for Best Picture.
Yes.
Okay. What about Gosling for lead actor?
Who is he up against? Denzel Washington.
Washington, Vigo, Casey Affleck, and Hacksaw Ridge. Okay.
Now, considering the whole sex scandal for Casey Affleck, which, by the way, you know about this. We talked about it.
Yeah.
We did a whole 15, 20 minutes on it. Which next week, by the way, we're reviewing Fences and Manchester by the Sea.
Oh.
Those are the two next week.
That's like 5 hours of viewing right there.
Aside from the sex scandal that has tainted Casey Affleck's image and persona and everything about him, up until that point, they were saying there's no way anyone but Casey Affleck is winning Best Actor. Now, with that said, since it just seems like all these allegations seem to be very, very true. And I think a lot of people are going, well, the voting is done as far as getting people nominated, but I don't know when it ends as far as actually picking the winner. I think a lot of voting are going to be done by a lot of people unfortunately, with that in mind, even if his performance is through the roof.
Okay.
If it goes that way, I want to say it's going to go to either Gosling or Denzel Washington.
I'm going to say definitely not Gosling.
Okay.
He will eventually win best actor, I believe. I think he really does have the chops for it. This is not the film.
I agree.
Thank you.
But if they don't vote that way, I say Casey Affleck gets it, and I think Denzel Washington is a very, very, very close second.
What about lead actress?
Who's up for that? Emma Stone?
Emma Stone, yeah. Besides her, Meryl Streep, Natalie Portman, Ruth Negga, and Elizabeth Hooper.
You know what I think?
What do you think?
I would not be surprised in the fucking least if Meryl Streep wins another Best Actress for Florence Foster Jenkins. She was that fucking good in it.
You saw that one?
I did. So because I need to see it. I needed to see it so I can finish that category, but I still need to watch Jackie. Which
I want to see that, and I want to see the other film with the same plot. There's another film because that's about a woman that thinks she can sing and can't.
Oh, right. Florence.
And there's another film with the exact same plot that came out. And I forget the name, but I think I have them both, and I want to watch them both.
Oh, okay. I would not be surprised in the least if Meryl Streep walks away with another. I don't think Emma Stone gets Best Actress.
I agree with you on that too. What about cinematography?
What's up for that? I mean, obviously, La La Land is up for that. What's it up against?
Arrival, Lion, Moonlight, and Silence. Half of those we'll be reviewing later on.
Shit, the only one I've seen is La La Land and Arrival.
Same here.
Arrival, I mean, it has some nice cinematography, although Scorsese's Silence, I've seen the first 10 minutes of that.
What's that about again?
Japan, 40s. Oh no, maybe it's not 40s. It could be early 20th century. I don't remember, but I know it's in Japan, and it's these priests, and they've kind of pushed away religion. So if they found out that you're a religious figure in any way, it's like it's bad fucking news. Anyway, I've seen the first 10 minutes of that. There's a shot where they're on like a fucking volcano, and there's all like plumes of smoke, and it's just this gorgeous panning shot. They just might give it to Scorsese for that film Silence, just because it is so well shot. And it's interesting. Like everything else just might be like yeah, fuck this other shit. So that could be like the dark horse as far as winning. If it doesn't, I can see them giving it to La La Land.
How about costume design?
What's that? What else is La La Land up against?
Jackie, Florence Foster Jenkins, Fantastic Beasts, and Allied.
I could see it going Fantastic Beasts because it's a period piece, or Florence Foster because it's also a period piece.
Fantastic Beasts is period piece, but it's also fantasy, so I'm leaning towards Florence.
Yeah, I don't think La La Land gets it. I think it's one of those two.
What costumes? Oh yeah, she wore a dress. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and it's modern clothes, so it's not that. It's
I don't see that at all.
No, I see
directing.
Directing. I think he gets it for directing, but
oh come on.
But I think they could split it and give it to Mel Gibson for Hacksaw.
Well, I still haven't seen Manchester or Moonlight, so. Right. But honestly, just as far as from what I've seen and my personal feeling, not based on politics or anything, between Arrival, Hacksaw, and La La Land, Hacksaw is like the one I would give it to for directing.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
Okay.
Anything else stand out as far as nominations? I know it has 14 of them.
Editing?
Editing? No.
Now, we've already reviewed 4 out of 5 for editing.
Yeah, and I think Hacksaw gets editing.
I would lean towards that. Then there's score.
Probably La La Land.
Probably. Yeah. It's either going to win score or song, especially as it has 2 nominees for song.
Yeah, that's yeah, we have to sit through 2 of those because they don't. They always talk about like doing some sort of condensed version of the songs or whatever, and they never do, and it's always 20-30 minutes of the show.
They did that one year when the Shaft theme song was up.
Yeah, they put them all together, and it was just over in like 15. It was a 15-minute number, and then it went right to commercial.
Yeah, but at least they got them all the way in one shot.
It was great.
What else?
I knew if I walked away and I came back in 15 minutes, it was done. I didn't have to watch it.
Yeah. Set design.
What's it up against?
Arrival, Fantastic Beasts, Hal Caesar, and Passengers.
Fantastic Beasts. Maybe La La Land because they use.
Have you seen Fantastic Beasts?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Just curious.
They might go La La Land because it uses some iconic,
but it's iffy.
Like they
set
went
design
to where
only because they had some abstract set design in there too.
Yeah.
with the dance, some of the dance sequences, and that whole blurring of reality and that Hollywood. That's like something that might give them an edge.
They went to what was that James Dean film? You're tearing me apart. That one.
The Rebel
Without a Cause. They went to like where that was actually filmed, and some of those iconic, landscapes that they decided to use. I mean, it could get it because of that.
Yeah.
Anything else stand out?
Sound editing and sound mixing.
No. Hacksaw.
You know what? I say no for a specific reason. At like one of the final scenes when she's getting out of a car and walking, her footsteps are off. Are don't match her actual legs walking.
Yeah, I see that shit all the time, but usually I see it like in 80s films.
Yeah, no, I caught that right away. I was like, those steps don't match. No sound. I even like mentally like no sound editing for you.
No, I think though both of those go to Hacksaw Ridge. I don't even care what else is nominated.
Honestly, I so far from what I've seen, I think it would be a split between La La Land. Like they'll give one to La La Land and the other one to Hacksaw.
And that's possible
because the whole music thing. There's a lot of sound. I think mixing goes to La La Land and Hacksaw gets editing.
Well, here's the thing. And again, I have nothing to back this up. I haven't done any homework, but just from generally watching the Oscars and remembering. Like some of the way they do it, mixing and editing usually go to the same movie. Almost always. It has a better track record.
Doesn't mean it has to.
No, I know, but I think I would put money that category has a better track record than director best picture.
All right, and the last one, original script.
Original screenplay.
Original screenplay, yeah. Fucking way.
What's it up against?
Hell or High Water, automatically no. No fucking way La La Land beats Hell or High Water. Then you've got The Lobster, Manchester by the Sea, and 20th Century Woman. I haven't seen Lobster, Manchester, or 20th Century Women yet, but just having seen Hell or High Water alone,
right? No
fucking comparison. Best screenplay? No.
The fact?
No.
Yeah.
Again, it's the asparagus.
Mm-hmm. The fact that it was nominated, it should just be happy that it.
Have you ever tried to feed your kids asparagus yet?
Mare doesn't like it, so it's never made it to our table.
What?
Yeah, I like asparagus.
Next time I come over, like if I babysit or something, I'm making fucking asparagus.
Well, you know what? I drizzle it in olive oil and I throw it on the grill. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, you don't boil it.
No,
whenever fry it or grill it.
Whenever I make it, it's always on the grill.
Yeah, grill it or fry it.
It grills really well.
Yeah, we would really well. We when Holly and I went to North Carolina with my relatives and like aunts and uncles and stuff, and they had all this asparagus. They were boiling it, and she was like, she so much wanted to yell at them. She's like, "What are you doing? You're ruining
it!" Boiling asparagus takes me back to the film that we reviewed. What was the vampire film that
You're giving me a hard artery.
A hard artery.
Got it, motherfucker. One episode later.
What was the film we reviewed? The one that
was it one episode or was it this episode that we were talking about?
It was the last episode.
Okay.
Yeah, it was when we did Hacksaw. Oh fuck! What was the name of the movie? It was the one vampire. What's her face from La Femme Nikita.
Blood Innocence?
Innocent Blood.
Innocent Blood, same thing.
So what made me think of that is when you said that the asparagus, they boiled it, and I just kept thinking of that line that what's his face had when he was talking about the toaster oven. What the fuck's his name? Oh, it's Robert Loggia. Thank you. We need to end this episode. Anyway, where he's talking about, you ever do calzone in a microwave? It comes out like a limp dick. And that's all I think about asparagus in boiling water. It's like a limp dick.
Now, there's a difference between boiling it and blanching it. Huge difference.
Well, yeah, when you blanch it, you cook it very quickly, and then you throw it in ice water, and it holds on to its crispness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
You've been listening to Cooking with Joey and Scott.
hey, you drizzle a little olive oil on that. Oh my God, you eat the fucking plate. Ugh.
All I can tell you is later on when Holly's listening to this episode, when we hit the asparagus thing and don't boil it, she's going to be like shaking her fist at the radio. Goddamn right.
Fucking limp dick.
Yeah, this shout out's for Holly. Don't boil the fucking asparagus.
Nobody likes a limp dick.
No, or boiled asparagus, but that's the metaphor. Okay,
Totally.
So La La Land,
Land.
First swing and a miss for our show.
Yep.
Even though you still think it might win Best Oscar.
It's going to win.
Picture?
It is.
Yeah.
When you're out,
I have to vote against you now on that just because I want you to be wrong.
When you're out celebrating your anniversary, hopefully wherever you are, you get to watch the Oscars a little bit, and you fill out your ballot or mentally fill out your ballot. Just remember,
you'll have my ballot in advance, so you'll know
that I was right.
Yeah, I'm just hoping you're wrong.
All
right,
I'm not. But
that's the show. That's us. Next week, as you said, we're doing. What would you say we're doing next week?
Fences and Manchester by the Sea.
Oh God, it's like 5.5 hours of film right there.
Actually, I think Fences. I think both of those are only like 2. It should be like 4.5 hours.
I thought Fences was like a 3-hour film.
No. Right.
Hour and 139 minutes.
Fences? Oh, it's 2 hours and 20.
2 hours and 20.
And then Manchester is... They're both 2 hours and like 20 minutes. So that's 4 hours, 40 minutes. Fuck.
Still too long.
We're not used to reviewing movies that are this long.
Well, yeah, we are during Oscar time because everything's got to be a fucking epic.
Yeah. Well, one thing I did notice and one thing I mentioned when we did the nominations are that there isn't a film that's longer than 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is
thank God
refreshing because usually this time it's like
Heaven's Gate.
2.5 hours, 3 hours is kind of the norm. So anyway,
let's wrap it up. Wrap it up.
All right. So as always, thank you for joining us. This is episode 233.
Yay!
Make sure you go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com, download the show, listen to the show, tune in live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Go to iTunes. You can download the show there. If you go there, make sure you leave us a review. We always appreciate it. If you want, you can go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. We post everything from news, trailers, to when we go live for the show. You can go to our Tumblr page at Tumblr or Moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. If you want to leave us an email, the address is themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. If you want to leave us voicemail, it's 908-514-4470. And download the free Android app for your Android device. It's 100% free, and Scott renewed it for one more year, so hey, you may as well just go fucking get it.
Apps for everybody.
Yeah, it's totally free too, and everything I mentioned is in there. One nice tidy little package.
Yeah, if you don't have iTunes, the app's the best choice because you can just stream it live right from the app.
That's right.
All the episodes right there. Best non-iTunes option. Best, easiest route to listen to the show.
And I do have a mobile version of the site for the iPhone users, but it's not finished.
Yeah, but if you got an iPhone, you've got an iPod, just listen on fucking iTunes.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you listen to iTunes on iPhone? I would assume you can.
Yeah, of
I don't
course.
know because I don't have an iPhone.
No, you can.
Yeah, so don't even bother. Just go to the fucking iTunes. What the hell?
True. Anyway. All right, everyone. Do you have any words of wisdom before we go?
Oh, chicken on a stick.
Chicken on a stick. All right.
Chicken on a stick.
That'll work. Fuck it. Music's ending anyway. So, all right, everyone.
Bye.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.